welcome back to the Good Enough Garage. We're actually outside of the garage today. We're actually at cruise night. Cruise night's actually right behind the camera, but I wanted to bring you guys in and show you the final update on the Buick Skylark because it is actually sold. The guy's supposed to be coming to pick it up tomorrow. He called me to ask me who to make the check out to, so it sold a lot quicker than I thought it would, but that's kind of the name of the game. That's kind of what we were getting into. So it's going to a good home. It's going local here in Detroit. So we'll be seeing it around at some shows and stuff. But I'm going to take you for a walk around, show you everything we've done to this car so far. Then we'll give it a proper send-off. So I'm Whitewall Steve, and this is my Good Enough Garage. If you guys watched the first two videos, you know we did quite a bit to this car. When I bought it, it was pretty much bone stock. I think this thing's got quite the look, and I actually got to see it drive down the road for the first time last week, and I just, oh man, this car looks killer. I'm actually kind of a little bummed out because I would have liked to have enjoyed this car a little bit longer, but we're on to newer, better things. So kind of give you guys a rundown of everything we did to this thing. Let me pop the hood here. As you know, we did the disc brake conversion. So I got a new master cylinder, new brake booster, new proportioning valve, all new brake lines, and disc brakes up front. And one thing that did that I wasn't really sure of, and for you guys that are getting ready to do a disc brake conversion on your car, think about this if you're going to put different wheels on it. The offset changed. It actually brought that wheel out a little bit. So we had to combat that a little bit. What we did was we did a little bit of trimming in the wheel wells for the clearance because we did lower this thing 2 inches with a 2-inch drop spindle. We went with a shorter tire. We actually did put different tires on this thing. So I'm actually running a 215/40 ZR18 on this thing rather than the 45 series that was on it because we did get some rubbing issues on the hard turns. 18-inch torque thrust 2s with the gray centers. I love these wheels on this car. They look perfect, and this thing's got the perfect stance. We did a 2-inch drop in the front, 1 inch in the rear. We got new springs in the front for a little bit of a better ride because the old springs were a little blown out. New shocks in the front, new shocks in the rear with new springs in the rear, obviously. We had to change the water pump, and the water pump ended up turning into an entire timing cover because I broke every bolt on that water pump. So I got a new timing cover, new distributor, rebuilt the carburetor. It's got the original Rochester 4-barrel on it, and put an electric choke on it. Got rid of that stover heater pipe thing. That's pretty much everything we did under the hood. Did some new valve cover gaskets, and I mean, she fires right up. I mean, it's really nice. We'll get to firing it up here shortly. In the interior, we gave it the custom auto sound stereo, and that's the custom auto sound stereo actually didn't come with these knobs. I actually took these knobs off the stock radio, made them fit this radio so that all the knobs match, because the knobs that came with it didn't match, and that would have looked really, really dumb in my opinion. Did some kick panel speakers. Those are also from Custom Auto Sound, already loaded, ready to go. Wired them right in. And then we put a speaker in the back. There's actually one 6x9 that plays both channels. That was also from Custom Auto Sound. And I went ahead and got all the windows working. They all roll up and down. There were some broken wires in the door jambs. And I even re-chrome plated these at work. Future video showing what I actually do at work. We're gonna be doing that soon. And then, let me grab the key here. Then in the trunk, actually quite a bit of stuff in the trunk, but if you can see it, there's a 10-inch Sound Ordnance sub, and it's a powered sub, which is really nice. It had the amp and everything already built in, so all I had to do was just run the wires. Didn't have to mess with any amps or any of that stuff, and it didn't need a ton of power. All it called for was a 10-gauge wire running to the battery. Works great, sounds very good for what this stereo is. It's got a really good sound. Unfortunately, I can't play anything on it because, you know, good old YouTube and their copyright laws. And then I also repaired this seat. We had the seat reupholstered because it had a big rip in it when I bought it. It also got a full manifold back exhaust system with Flowmaster mufflers, and we actually got that exhaust system from Summit and then had my buddy at Midas put it on, but you can see the exhaust tips coming out the back there, and it's got Flowmaster mufflers. This thing sounds really good. But you can hear it. It's got a nice rumble to it, but it's not overpowering. And in the car, you can barely hear it. So it's really nice. It's just got a really nice rumble to it. Thing runs great. And the guy who's getting this car, I don't think he understands how nice of a car he's getting, because you don't get much better than that. And then one other thing we did to it, when I bought this car, it had been repainted. It was single stage white, and whoever painted it never wet sanded and rubbed it. All they did was just paint it and let the orange peel fly. Well, when you look down the side of this thing, it looked flat white. So I went ahead, and me and Bunch from Bunch Pinstriping, we wet sanded the entire car and buffed it out, and now it looks a lot nicer. So someone's gonna get a really nice car, and I look forward to seeing it at the shows. Gonna miss it a little bit, but hopefully we pick up something just as nice as this, maybe even a little nicer, you never know. That's gonna be the final update for the 65 Skylark project that we did. Owned it for about a year and a half-ish. Actually, not even a year and a half. It's been like a year and like 3 months. But it turned out really nice. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And like I said, I hope the new owner takes as good a care of it as I would. And we'll be seeing it at the shows. But that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to drive it back over to cruise night, enjoy the car one last day, and then it's off to its new home tomorrow. So let's give a proper send-off to the 65 Skylark project. And I'll see you guys next time on the White Wall Steve Goodenough Garage. Let's roll.